It's Monday. Monday. Cowboys won. Woo. Morning, Josh. Let's celebrate the Cowboys. Come on, who's with me? Phil might be. Ron might be. Probably not lag. Yeah. Cowboys won the NFC East. Woo. Home field advantage. Probably for if they win the first playoff game, then they probably have home field advantage again for the second game. Get closer to the mic. Why are you always telling me that, Robin? Who can hear me okay? Let me check my settings. Audio, it's turned up all the way. Huh. I don't know. Let me turn it off and turn it back on. And okay, I turned off my headset and I turned it back on. Is that any better? Probably not, because that's all I did. Huh. Because when Tom comes on, he blows me out. He's just a big blowhard anyway. I'm awfully low. Well, dang, the mic is right in front of my mouth. Where else can I go to fix that? I wonder if the mic is, I don't know. Audio. Mic volume is all the way up. Do, do, do. Do, do, do. Maybe this one. Try that. Is that better? No? Ugh. First show? Actually, I'm more than 3 years into running some live shows. So we're over 300 episodes of the Silverhairstacker show. Yay. Boop, boop. That video describes what's happening to eBay perfectly, Josh. What video? Oh, I gotta go look at it. Who's this on? Logically answered. Well, I'll have to look at that. Who is logically answered? I don't know him from illogically answered. Okay. Josh says sound is good. Watch that video. Okay. The Canadians can hear me. Good take on eBay's situation. It's a bad situation. Yeah, I saw your answer to me, Josh. But you won't get the sales back that you lost out on, huh? You have to talk soft, Tom,
Okay. Why?
because everybody's saying that my mic is low.
You sound good to me.
Well, I don't know.
Well,
Josh said it sounded good, but Robin and Lag and a couple others saying,
hey, you can't believe anything Lag says.
well, I do believe Robin. How
Yeah.
are my sales? My sales were really steady over the weekend. I've got 16 orders going out for $440. Of course, that's gross. So just, I don't know, just real steady. Hi, Sam Chap. Do I know you, Sam Chap? I don't recognize you. Who are you and where did you come from? And if you're new to the channel, thanks for jumping in. Tom and I are two old geezers trying to get by in this modern world.
That's right.
Oh, he was just trying to get me off the football topic. How about them Cowboys? Woo, woo, woo. We'll see. We play a team on next weekend that barely made it. You're a lurker? Well, welcome. What happened to Philly? Philly falling off a cliff. I don't know why everybody's beating them now. They've lost like 5 in a row, right? Oh, Wendy, you dirty, dirty dogger. That's who they play is Green Bay Packers, right? Cowboys have won like 7 straight in the Dallas stadium. So it's going to be, I don't know if that's any indication the Cowboys are going to be tough to beat at home. Doo, doo. Yeah, anything can happen. Yeah, I was surprised Texas has got 2 teams in the playoffs this year. The Houston Texans are also in. So they're a pretty good team, I think. I don't know a whole lot about them, but you got to be pretty good to make the playoffs in the NFL. You live in the Midwest but grew up in the South. So you're up around probably Indiana or somewhere in there. Steelers are in. Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Packers jersey. The Bills, golly, man, they're looking good. I mean, Miami beat the Cowboys, but then the Bills turned around yesterday and beat them. Ooh, yeah, Jerry World. A lot of people call it Jerry World. Hey, West Texas, welcome to the show. Did you have some good sales over the weekend, Tom? Outside Chicago.
2.
The south side of Chicago.
I had a
There's a
couple.
man named Leroy Brown. Baddest man in the whole damn town. Meaner than an old dog. Junkyard dog. Chicago.
Todd, with the auto tuning that's available now, you'd be as big as Taylor Swift and
Yeah.
Katy Perry.
Chicago, Chicago. What a tuttle in town. I don't know what titling is, but geriatric world.
Yeah.
He's getting pretty old.
Oh, I thought he was geriatric. He spelled it with a J. So he talk about old people because I was about to say, you know, all of you people are steaming that direction full speed ahead.
Well, did you have some good eBay sales there, Anissa? Glad somebody sells something on Bonanza. I
I,
don't
be-
even try.
I believe uh, Tara has some stuff on. Somebody that we talked to they sell on Bonanza also.
I bet Bridget's got a store.
I don't know. Bridget, are you lurking?
7 on eBay, 1 on Bonanza. Well, that's pretty good. Pretty good. Seemed like
That
about a
is.
month ago you were complaining you had 0 sales.
Are you doing promoted listings, Anessa?
I bet she's doing about all she can. Uh,
Who? Oh, no.
it has slightly picked up. Mine had a good 2023 and it's not really slowed down. It's just since the 1st of January I've done really good. Let me look at it. I did sell a couple of gold coins which brought me way up on one day. But I paid up for those, so there wasn't much profit there. Look at performance, sales.
No, did they sell because they were coins, or did they sell because they were gold, or did they sell because they were gold coins?
They were gold coins with some premium also because they were kind of a
Okay,
fancy graded coins.
all right.
All right. My sales are up 22% over this same time last year from January 1st to now. But I could say probably most of that 22% was those 2 coins. Oh, you saw that ring? Ha ha. Where'd it go? What did I say? I think I told you to put it up for 400, didn't I? But if you're making a good profit, go ahead and sell it.
If you Google what marketplace, you're a good soul peddling profits, finding that, taking in that lost kitten, abandoned
Junk
kitten.
Junkyard kitten. Those videos of cats beating up on dogs is pretty funny.
Yeah.
Hydra Marketplace. Never heard of it.
Oh.
Yeah, Josh, I'm in the same boat. I got Gwen feeds the neighborhood cats, so we've always got about a half dozen hanging around here.
Good morning, little Debbie.
And she feeds them so good they're getting fat. uh, Raid from Johnny's. Hi, Debbie. How are you doing this morning, honey, darling? Sugar pie, sweetie lump.
I do love her cakes, little cakes, so
Little Debbie.
yeah.
Oh, God. figure only 25 pounds of the amount I'm overweight is because of Little Debbie cakes.
Did you hear me talk about a kitten and you had to come up? Why aren't you by your heater? As you can tell, there's my little girl's walking around on my desk.
Huh. Yeah, you got sweet sugars.
Good
Hi,
morning, Jennifer.
Jennifer. How are you this morning? I don't know where Beard is. We need somebody to come in and put on women's panties.
Yeah. If you it's somewhere on the YouTubes. It's Will Farrow dressed as Little Debbie because he was the new face of Little Debbie. It is so funny, and that's where he looks like Little Debbie.
Who?
Will Farrow,
Oh, okay.
the comedian, huh? Farrell. Roberta said. It's really funny because he does. He looks like a grown-up version of Little Debbie, the snack cake queen.
I expect Little Debbie is long since passed away.
Yeah.
How long is that? I gotta look it up now. How long is that? Little Debbie snacks. 1960. Well, that's. I thought they went way back. I thought they were like right at the end of World War II. Todd.
I think he. The thing I look at, it looked like he was he rebranded it when she was born. Because Little Debbie was actually the granddaughter of the owner of the company.
How's Minnesota, Todd? Man, we got all the northerners here. We got Wisconsin, we got Minnesota.
Well, as long as they keep that bad weather up there.
I've seen some bigger snowfalls. Bridget got a big snowfall.
Yeah,
And
not
hi Mike. Old traveling picker Pat D's.
yeah.
He was showing like 15 inches. And this has got 7 inches.
We got 9. Hallelujah.
We had a rain this morning, but it's not super cold.
It's supposed to rain hard tomorrow here.
55 with drizzle. So if it's drizzling here, Phil, you're fixing to get a big old rain. We can have just a little bitty rain here, and then as it travels east, it just dumps on Houston.
That's a link to Will Farrow / Little Debbie after the show. Y'all go look at it. It's pretty funny.
Okay.
Dang. How much is it now, Texas? And how big a storage building? If it's 1,000 square feet, hey, that's pretty dang good. If it's 100 square feet, that's pretty bad.
Hey, Sharon. Welcome to the show. couple of old geezers talking about crap. Eh,
How big is? Did you say how big? 20 by 20, 317. Uh,
do, do. Ooh, looking at gold prices this morning. They're down, 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 down.
how much down?
They went from like 2,045. They're down to like 218. So gold went down. You know, silver did too.
Yeah.
Looking at silver. Yeah, silver's back below 23. Well, all right, stock market's gonna open in 8 minutes. But the
I,
futures are down, I think. Hey, Sadie.
I was looking to see what 20 by 20s are around here. And the 10 by 30 is like $227.
Yeah, I want to hear the whole story Josh has got today. He's probably going to have a long show because they had a big topic on at the end of last week, and I think he got it resolved. We'll find out in a couple hours.
A,
Help bar.
a 20 by 20 around Charlotte is about it's about $310 a month. So 327 is not too far off of it.
Golly. That's why I don't rent a storage unit. I ain't going to do it.
Storage unit would be cheaper than a divorce, though, Todd.
Shut up. Hey, I've been working on it some. I got the last week I've been listing from the death pile. I'm making progress. Getting some things cleared out.
She back over there by her heater?
I found some more video games that I've already sold 2 of them for like $75. Like, why haven't I listed these? But video games don't take up much space. I need to list my big stuff. Problem is with the big stuff I have, I gotta test it. I got a big old surround sound stereo. I've got a woofer. I've got a printer. I gotta get all that stuff tested and listed and sold. Wow.
That's $657 US.
Of course, Josh, your business is way more expanded than mine. You have 10 times the amount of listings that I have. That's a lot. It's a whole lot. I have 1,400 listings, and Josh, I think, has 14,000. So,
$880. John needs to build him a warehouse.
yeah, for $880, you could buy a pretty good building, put it on a property, and work out of it. Facebook sales. I mean, if you're still cleaning out storage units, you're gonna get some big stuff. So you pretty much have to keep at least one unit. AFX Taco, what are you talking about? Vintage slot cars. Oh, yeah.
I know most of these youngsters on the show that are listening won't remember, but I remember when my older brother, he was a driving teenager, and he and I went over to a place. It was like just a big room in a strip center, and they had like two big slot car tracks set up in it. And you'd bring your car and your controller, and I don't, I would have been like 9 or 10 back then. Um, I'm assuming that you paid, some kind of fee, and you ran your slot cars with other people, but they were a good sized slot car, the best I remember. They weren't like a slot car that you raced on your home track.
Yeah, there was a place like that in my hometown. Oh, it was about the same time frame you're talking about. But it was almost like
It would be like a
almost like video. They didn't have video games back
right,
then. You know, like the console video games.
right.
So
I think that was the original networking party for any of you that game or have children that game. Uh, but they did have pinball machines. I remember that,
yeah,
and I
pinball.
think they had like a little hot dog stand type thing, refreshments.
Yeah.
But I think that was the original uh, arcade.
And earlier than that, it was all about the pool halls, I think.
Yeah. My younger brother got into RC cars, and there was a shopping center out on Cherry Road at Rock Hill that they would on Sundays they would set up a race course out. People would set up a race course, and you come out there and race your car against each other. One guy's car ended up jumping the track and hit me in the ankle, and I swear I thought he had broke my ankle because those little cars will fly.
Where do you go, Robin? Robin got a cha-ching.
Good.
I better like my shows so that I can get a cha-ching. Isn't that the thing? You put a like on somebody's live show you're watching and you'll get a cha-ching.
I don't know, but we'll try that myth.
Might as well.
Everybody go in there and give this. Let's test this system out. Go in there and give Todd a like. See how it works.
See if you get a cha-ching.
Yeah.
It's guaranteed to work some of the time.
Some of the time.
Yeah. I don't know. Did you put a like on Debbie? If you did, you're gonna get a cha-ching. I promise most of the time that happens. Not true for you, Jennifer? I always tend to get a lot of cha-chings during John's show. Mondays and Fridays.
What time does he have a show?
Mondays and Fridays, what time does he start? He starts at 5. And then on Fridays, as soon as his show's over, we go to Beard's live.
On Friday night. Or
Mm-hmm.
at night. Okay.
Yeah, because we're on YouTube live because we're too poor to take our girls on dates.
I hear you. Because I was about to say, if it was 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm sorry, guys, but no, I don't get up at 5 o'clock in the morning unless I have to go to the bathroom, or one of the cats is just starving to death and worrying me. Where did you come from?
Is that all you sell, Jennifer? Is a one item a month? I thought you had a big store selling lots. Was it Joanna's the one that's always got sales? Lots to ship out. Wonder how many Bridget's got going out today.
I don't know. She's got too uppity. She just don't even lurk anymore.
Uppity.
Oh, she's probably got 100.
She's probably listening in while she makes 50 listings.
Yeah.
5,000 going out. She was talking about toward the end of last year that it's the best they've ever done, and
Yeah.
talking about some numbers, and I was like, holy moly.
Yeah, I told her she should aim to hit 500,000 this year. Chris probably went, "Oh my God, Tom's trying to get her to kill me."
Yeah, Chris lists too, so that it's a two-person team,
Yeah.
husband and wife. On top of that, Bridget's not afraid to just sit there and list 40, 50 items at a time. Just
There was a days that she listed 100 things.
yep.
That was all day long. But she would list 100 things.
$1 million per acre. Golly. About 15 years ago, Mom sold some of the old farmland for like $650 an acre. Of course,
Was
that was
it?
out in the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma, but $1 million per acre.
Is that
Jeez.
just because you live near the border?
Well, there's a bunch of big towns around. He lives, prices are expensive close to a big city.
Well, I live in a big city, and
He's up there by Niagara, New York, and such.
he's like across the border from Bridget's area, because she lives about an hour away from Niagara, I think.
Yeah, Toronto. Yeah, that's right. Toronto. God, Toronto's a big place though. It's like
That's because
four or
everybody
five
wants to move.
million people.
That's because everybody wants to move to Canada, Josh. If y'all
What?
shut your border, all those Americans trying to escape our bullshit down here would they'd have to go someplace else.
Yeah, not
Uh,
too far from Buffalo and Niagara and Toronto. Sheesh.
I can't remember his name, but the actor that played
He's gonna trade passports with you. Yeah.
will marry you an American.
I bet with such high dense population though, your choices for picking and sourcing is got to be better than around here or Kansas or Oklahoma or just wherever.
Well, my impression, because I know nothing about Canada, honestly, other than the wonky political stuff. But I think of Canada as after you leave like Toronto, you get it to the city limits, it becomes like the wilderness, and the Mounties are on their horses and whatnot.
sourcing is incredible, but it's very expensive. Yeah. I'm
The
not
guy
afraid
that
to
has
pay up for stuff if I can make a profit, but
the guy that
mm,
has the channel at Something Inc. He like buys houses and stores, full of stuff. He's in Canada, I believe. You know who I'm talking about?
Donald Trump.
No, he's a Canadian. He's a young guy. Got kids. He's
Oh,
got a.
Curiosity Incorporated.
That's it. That's him. He lives in Canada, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's always finding incredible estates to go make $1 million out of.
Yeah. I mean, he bought like that. He bought that house that was just full of stuff, and then he
He's
bought
out in Western Canada, though, right?
I believe he is like towards Vancouver, that area.
Yeah. Josh said he's about 25 hours away from me. Canada's huge, and that's is
Yeah.
way, way west of Niagara.
When we went to Canada. When we went out, because I've never been to Canada. Uh, when we went to Australia, there were we were on a tour bus taking a tour of Sydney, and there was a family that was from Perth, and they were vacationing. Um, but we were there with our best friends at the time, and Chris and I were talking about, it's like people in California have never been to North Carolina. I mean, you got to put it into perspective of,
Sadie, was that the guy that started the morning show stuff? He would have Dusty on. What's that guy's name? Um, he did jujitsu. Jory, yeah, Jory. Mike knows who I'm talking about.
Jory.
Yeah, I haven't seen Jory on YouTube in a long time. But Mike says he's still around, so.
Yeah, Paul had a show too. I
Oh
don't know
yeah,
what he's
Paul
up to.
Gummerson.
Yeah, I wonder what he's up to now. He had a little girl. Gosh, she's got to be a big girl now.
Ronan, yeah. There were 2 or 3 up there that did reselling and had shows. Okay,
Jo-
I'm talking about Paul.
Josh says he could drive 30 hours north and still be in the same province.
Okay, Paul Gummerson was a jiu-jitsu guy. So Jory, I guess I'm confusing and thinking they're the same person.
Yeah, Paul had the little girl.
Oh, that's true.
Let's see. If I left here and drove 30 hours, if I got on I-40 and drove 30 hours, uh, Canada to the north, probably Mexico City if I drove south.
Jory was the tech and game guy. Okay. Speaking of tech, tech and sports, he was talking about as you increase the size of your business, you're going to funnel down into just a few categories. But with the way I do things, I don't think I ever will. I think I'm just going to stay look it up. If it sells good, I'll buy it, whatever it is. I'm sure it's a lot slower. If all you sell is clothes, you can have your station set up and your storage and everything. You just flip through that stuff like bam, 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 bam. You can you can put up a lot of listings uh, of polo shirts in a short amount of time.
Josh, my sister-in-law's husband is from Canada, and they leave Asheville, North Carolina, and drive to. They go through Detroit, so that's the part of Canada they're headed to, and they drive it like in 18 hours or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, Tekken Sports, he was the #1 seller on eBay for men's clothes, shirts, jackets, shoes. I don't think, well, he might have done shoes. Mainly like shirts, jackets, pants.
Does Tommy sell anything besides shoes?
Hi, Cyber.
Hey, Cyber.
I think he's got a few things in his store. He certainly doesn't go out of his way to do anything but shoes because he's got such a good source.
Well, that's good.
It is good. Yeah, if I had one steady main source, yeah, I would get niched down real quick.
Does your military surplus? It does pretty good, doesn't it? Or is it like
Yeah,
slow and
but
steady?
it's uh it's not so much that that's going to be the only thing I sell.
Yeah. Have you called to find out if your girlfriends are going to be open this week?
Yeah, I saw on the Facebook that they have that they're opening back up on Thursday.
Were they just closed for the holidays, or have they?
I don't know why they took so long. They took like 3 weeks off. The last time they were open was the Thursday after Christmas.
Oh, after Christmas,
Yeah, and they did a half off.
right?
I know, right? And it's
Maybe they're trying to get cleaned out and then again, as according to Todd, they're all old people, so they must. If he's calling them old people, they must be in their 80s and 90s. So there could have been a rash of sickness going around.
yeah, I think pretty much the youngest steady workers around there are my age. Mid 60s and such.
You're one of the youngsters.
Actually, kind of, yeah. Oh, I mean, they've got a few younger people that are like that hang around and help. But
Right.
yeah, I need to take my GoPro in there sometime and just do a video, and y'all can check out the workers and see that. Yeah, they're a little long in the tooth. Mostly, mostly retired people that volunteer and do that.
Right.
Yeah,
When I start to think about how old I am, I think about my older brother, 5 years older than I am. So I'm like, I'm not so bad.
I don't know how many times I've got in the Lutheran rummage sale and said, "I missed you last week. Where were you?" "Oh, I was having open heart surgery," or "I was having my gallbladder taken out," or "I had a cardiologist appointment, so I couldn't make it." Uh,
My mom had a heart loop implanted, and last week, and I didn't even know about it. I said, "Mom, why didn't you call me and tell me about it?" "Well, I thought I did." "No, you didn't."
oh no.
And what it is it's like there's a little recording device sitting beside her bed, and uh, when she lays down at night, it picks up signals from this loop thing that's been implanted. And anyway, I said, "Do I need to start coming spending the nights with you?" She said, "Oh God, no."
Yeah, it's amazing how they can prop up and keep us old geezers going that long after. You know, 100 years ago, we didn't have all these fancy devices, and so people just died.
Yeah. Lag, let's
And
get up. Wait a minute. Hold it. Just hold that thought, Todd.
the
Todd.
death certificate would always say something like natural causes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
Lag,
Davis.
I am younger than Todd by almost 2 years. Okay. I'm 66. Todd's 68.
But I look 20 years younger than you, so there.
Yes, you do, Todd. You do.
See, look at this baby smooth skin I got working here.
Yeah, that's because you.
Yeah, look
That's
at that.
because Gwen makes you wash those dishes in Palmolive every day.
Yeah. Madge is proud of me.
Yeah.
These youngsters don't know who Madge was. You're soaking in it.
Yeah. There was a.
And dishwashing liquid is gentle.
There's channels on YouTube that is nothing but commercials from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. Each decade, and
Yeah, Wendy. Madge is.
some of these commercials, they were like, here's a small child playing with this product, and that was it. There was not all
Still
this
use
fancy
palm olive.
music and narration and all this kind of stuff like there is now.
Yeah, all those old commercials. Remember Mr. Whipple?
Yeah.
Don't squeeze the Charmin.
Yeah, we use Palmolive too. The Walmart brand or the Sam's brand of dish detergent is just too sudsy. Yes, I wash dishes. Matter of
Madge
fact,
was
Madge was hot.
She was hot. She was hot, kind of like the progressive girl. What's her name?
Flo.
Flo. She was attractive, kind of like Flo. You have to imagine was people like Madge and Flo, were they once Playboy cover models? Flo is easy.
Flo makes more money. She does conventions. That was part of her contract. She goes to conventions like Comic
Yeah,
Cons and stuff like that. She goes and speaks and gets paid to speak, and
and to make the donuts. That's right.
yeah,
That was God, which donuts was that a commercial? Dunkin' Donuts, wasn't it?
yeah, I was Duncan. Krispy
There you
Kreme
go.
doesn't have to. They don't have to. They do not have to advertise.
It's hard to
Pe-
cook. It's hard to cook eggs on paper plates, though.
yeah,
You're a generic buyer. Some things we do generic, some things like we still use Charmin, man. We gotta have Charmin. Anytime I go to like a out of town and I have to use like a hotel restaurant, they've always got that John Wayne toilet paper. Not a fan.
not a fan of what.
John Wayne toilet paper.
Uh, uh,
Y'all know what John Wayne toilet paper is, right?
Tumbleweed.
John
Uh,
Wayne toilet paper, yeah, it's rough and it's tough and it won't take shit off anybody. Well, stocks are supposed to be down this morning, but they're not. Well, the Dow Jones is down, but Standard and Poor's is up a little bit.
when we were in Ukraine, we have a couple of rolls of Ukrainian toilet paper around here. The stuff that average people buy is like 600 grade sandpaper over here. It was rough because everybody had told Roberta was in several like users groups and stuff like that while we were preparing for the travel for adoption, and they were like, "Take your own toilet paper."
Yeah, I remember Grandpa's outhouse when we were little bitty. Grandpa and Grandma had newspapers and old magazines in the outhouse to use.
I don't remember that. Even though my great grandmother, they still had an outhouse behind their house, and I was like 17 years old. She was born in 1883. My mom and I were talking about that yesterday. Because I went to visit. She lived with my aunt, and my aunt was an old maid, and I had two old bachelor uncles, and they all lived together. And anyway, we went down. We all went down to visit my great grandmother, my aunt and uncles. And I was outside with my brother and a couple of my cousins, and I had long hair, or not long hair. It was, covered my ears, and in the back it was down to my shoulders. And my mom said, my great grandmother looked out the window and she says, "That boy needs a haircut." So that's been my joke, my mom's little joke our little joke together is about that boy needs a haircut. Got if she saw Sergey. 1883.
Lose a large percentage of its sellers here. 1,000 pounds. That's not very many sales.
That's a UK thing.
Yeah, we're still at 20,000.
So that's about 1,500 US.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like I don't like dealing with the UK. I like looking at money through Canada because if you have $1,000 down there, or if you take $1,000 down there, you've got like 1,500, 1,600, 1,200. Okay.
Sadie, they've been saying that for 3 years, and they keep backing off of it. If they lower it, it's gonna be a nightmare for the IRS. They don't have enough, even with the new hires, they're not gonna have enough people to process all that crap.
Mr. Sadie, you get a 1099 for your gambling wins this year? I should ask Todd. Todd's what's been on the winning streak.
Uh, Not like Sadie. 5 to
Yeah.
10K for the year, that's still going to be a nightmare for them. That's that's going to add millions of new tax forms that people have to fill out.
You hope they lower it to zero lag.
Well, it's really supposed to be zero, but you just got a couple of old shirts hanging in your closet and you sell them on eBay and never do anything else. There's not much reason for eBay or anybody else to have to give a 1099. That's just it's crazy.
Who was it that just posted?
Yeah, we're all supposed to report any profit we make,
Yeah.
but
Well, and this is, they start slapping a hefty
that's right.
fine on it. 600. If you make $600, you don't claim it. They'll probably have $600 worth of fines and penalties on it. Yeah, but I'm not sure who. I think it was it was Josh. He's talking about um you're supposed to include benefits like company car and stuff like that. Meals, if meals are for business related, you can claim it or the business can claim it, but the individual doesn't claim it if they file an expense report and it's on their expense report. Now, the IRS is really looking closely at expense reports. Years ago, we had a friend my dad had a friend who also owned an auto parts place, and his hobby was flying. And he had a little Mooney 4-place airplane, and he asked his CPA if there's any way he could write off any of that plane, and his CPA looked at him and said, "No." Next question. It was like, "No, you don't have a branch someplace that you have to fly to. So, if you're flying to a conference or something business related, then you can write it off like your car, the travel expenses like a car." But he said he just flat out said no.
Yeah, I'm guilty of every spring we have a garage sale here in town, and I don't report any of that.
I
I
think that's
figured I
for
paid up front. Everything I sell in my garage sale, though, I don't feel guilty because I paid up front tax to get all of that.
yeah. They I've mentioned before that they have a we're allowed 4 yard sales a year, and we have to buy a permit,
Yeah,
which is
you got to take all the deductions you can. If you're
yeah.
using a motor home to source in, and it gets 8 miles to the gallon, uh, you'd be crazy not to claim the mileage.
Well, when my dad had he had a Cessna 172, which is a 4-seater, which is about the size of a Volkswagen Beetle, a 74 Volkswagen Beetle. Wasn't big at all, but it can make it was big enough that instead of taking 3 hours to drive to Myrtle Beach from Charlotte Rock Hill, it took 30 minutes. And so when we did because our family was from Horry County. He had a lot of connections, and his crews, survey crews, did a lot of work down there. So during the summer, we would fly down there. He and I would fly down there, and we would do research all day long at the courthouse. And of course, he would see relatives and whatnot. Um, so it was a legitimate business expense because we were going down there to do the research at the courthouse. But there was a fine line about what could be wrote off and what couldn't be wrote off on that. Because he said stuff like that throws red flags all over the place. Well, see, your time is not involved. I mean, it's not important, Anissa. That's the way the IRS thinks about it. Your time is not important. Because my dad was on, there was a organization down, it was a nonprofit down in Rock Hill, and he was going to do some work for them. Not work for him, but he was going to do some research because there were some title issues, and he was going to look through it and whatnot. And they told him to, if he wanted to bill them for it, then they would give him they would make it as a donation and give him a receipt, which he didn't even want to do any of that kind of stuff. But
And this, don't put that out there that you buy lunch or lag will be at your door every day.
Yeah. The CPA said, no, your time is not, you can't write off your time like that. Now, if he had one of his employees do it, then he could write off the expense of it. But nah, it's really weird. Well, for a lot of people that used to file, what's it called? We itemize tax forms. They can't even itemize anymore, even with the mortgage. They don't make it. They don't have enough to itemize anymore with that standard deduction since they raised debt. I had to listen to that yesterday. My mom was bitching about she's got to start getting her tax stuff together. I told her it was hell being rich. And she's not rich, but they've been frugal. She's been very frugal over her years. And I'm not saying she's a cheap ass. I'm just saying she's, she watches her money. And she owns the building that my brother's company leases from her. So she gets a check for that. And she has to pay income tax on it. And I'm like, well, just if it's such a big deal, then just reduce the amount of money you're charging for it. So you don't have to pay any income tax on it. Plus she has her Social Security. And all, it's hell making too much money. I told her, Mom, if I had that kind of money, I would pay the taxes and get on another cruise ship. You know what I mean? And it's like Todd. Todd's always complaining about taxes. Damn, if I had Todd's money, I wouldn't care.
Yeah, I was watching the Beverly Hillbillies one time, and they were talking about doing taxes, and Mr. Mooney was like, "Oh, look, if you invest this money that you have in something else, you won't have to pay as much tax to the government." And Papa Hillbilly, he said, "Well, I think the federal government does a good job. I think we'll just pay him a little extra this year."
Carol, my mom, when she's getting it all together, she lays it all out on the dining room table. My mom learn how to be a bookkeeper when my dad went into business. And my mom and dad would go see the CPA, a couple times a year to look at everything and see if they need to make some adjustments. And when my dad incorporated the business and my mom started getting a paycheck, my mom was saying, "Well, I think Brad's paying me too much," and our CPA's like, "Too much?" He said, "If you want to come to work for me, I'll pay you twice as much as Brad's paying." Because he said, her book work was always perfect when it came in. Because he told her what he had to have and how things were supposed to be done, and that's the way she did it. But he did. He said, "I'll give you a job anytime you get tired of Brad," which is my dad. "You get tired of him, dealing with him, you come to me and you will have a job." And she didn't have a fancy degree or anything like that. Oh, not her, Carol. She has folders for everything. And she's always had folders in her file cabinet.
She one of those bean counters.
Yeah. If she worked for well, this would have been 20 years, some years ago. Our CPA said that Dad should be paying her about $80,000 a year. And he's like, "That's more than I make." But that's like meticulous. She did every when she retired. That's when they automated the books at the office. Everything she did was on paper in a ledger. She had ledgers, old school ledgers, all of that kind of stuff. If she was 5 cents out, she would spend hours looking for that 5 cents. And I think it was more not that she was, just retentive about it, but it was just that she wanted to know where she made the mistake at. My younger brother, it's his company now. He says that he's just in his house. If Angie's his wife is $1 off, he considers that good. Oh, and she did. Roberta, Mom finally got her a debit card.
Oh, that's good.
My mom said it was getting to be too much of a hassle using checks because some places don't take checks anymore. So after all these years of debit cards being out there, she finally got a debit card last month.
There's still some bills I pay with a check. Like the city water bill. I'm going to the post office every day anyway. The city hall is right there by the post office, so I just drop off my payment as I'm going to the post office.
Timberland, that's the way my mother is. My mama is. She's got everything in order. Well, they're going to have a hard time on a cruise ship, Tamara, because they don't use cash. The only thing cash is good for is tips.
Another thing I like using checks for, there's a bunch of the businesses in town, like the tire place.
Yeah.
They charge you an extra 3.5% to use a debit or credit card. So I'm like, okay, I'll pay you a check. I'm not.
Pay them in cash. Because banks charge if you have physical deposits more like 5 times a month, they charge you a fee.
They showed up at your house. God. IRS probably doesn't want to come to anybody's house in Texas.
Well, you only have to show them what they asked for. They don't have to see. They've got your whole tax return. If they're supposed to, in the U.S., they have to declare what they're uh, looking at, and that's all you have to give them.
I hope they called ahead of time instead of just banging on the door.
You're audited every year.
Yeah, a lot of local businesses. It's hard to blame them because they have to pay that fee. But it's about half and half in my town. About half the businesses charge extra to use debit and credit cards.
Banks don't. Yeah, but banks don't want to deal with all that paper. I had a branch manager.
They they came to your house looking for lag. Snowing? Wow. I thought you lived in southern Great Britain where it never snows.
Yeah, taxes will make you depressed. Just pay it, and go about your business.
It's
Like
time to get it
like I
done
said,
though.
yeah, like I said, Todd's always pissing and moaning about damn taxes and as much money as he's got. I don't know why he complains all the time. Don't knock my cup off, girl. All right, it's 10:12, Todd. I gotta go.
Yeah, it's time to shut down, folks. I've got to get these orders packed and get to listing. Thanks everybody for coming in. I think it was a banger show.
Yeah, it was.
You want to do the fist bump like Josh and John do? No,
Well,
that's their thing. Yeah, you're going the wrong direction.
I had to come over here to because I'm.
So am I.
Are you? Okay, there we go. Boom, boom, boom.
That's a banger show right there. Tomorrow we will be on the Queen City Pickers channel for another amazing morning show.
Yep. Y'all have a great day. Thanks for coming in, Todd's show. Give him
Bye
a like
now.
on your way out. Bye.
Do, do, do.